coincidence that whenever in 1867, 2 years up from slavery, when in the halls of Congress, when they began to discuss whether or not they were going to allow black people to go to colleges and universities, the ruling on the floor was, we'll let them go to colleges and universities, but they can't come to ours. And when they go to theirs, any black college, there's 3 sciences that must never be taught to these slaves. The science of finance, the science of warfare, and the science of mating. See, 2 sides of mating. One is picking a spouse, and the other is parenting the child that comes from that bond. Look at our problems right now. Finance. $1.3 trillion last 2 years out of 226 nation, 8th richest nation in the world. But we don't have anything that we can call our own. You got Spain with 47 million people. They brought in 637 or $728 billion, and we got double that. They got 47 million people with a 208,000 square mile land mass, and they got their own everything. And we can't even come to one community and find anything that we own other than barbershops and barbecue restaurants. Something wrong. We got dollars, but we need some sense. So finance, we didn't learn. Then you have the science of warfare. We kill only each other.
Now, that's crazy, right? I'm going to put his face back up here one more time for y'all, right? Let me put his face back up here. Let me see. I'm just going to put his face right up here, and I'm just going to press pause real quick. Right, let me press pause. All right, let me press pause. I'm going to keep his face right there for y'all, right? So let me address this man from the Nation of Islam, NOI, Nuri Muhammad, right? And while I address him, I don't want people to get all sensitive and all this type of stuff, man. This is all just learning right here, right? Now, as you notice when he talked, he said, when we were slaves, we didn't learn this. So he's taking black consciousness of black people, and he's taking them back to slavery. And he's trying to get us to think that we were once slaves when we were never slaves. This is the beginning problem in a lot of what's going on in black consciousness right now. These NOI people, right? And a lot of these black spiritual leaders and black thought leaders and all this type of stuff, they are taking y'all back into slavery, and they want you to think that you were once a slave when you was never a slave. Why would this man say when we were slaves, when he was never a slave? He wasn't whipped and beaten or none of that type of shit, right? He don't even know a slave. But yet he's trying to take your black consciousness and try to connect you to what happened to those people. And none of us know who those people are. We have never met a slave, right? Also, when he starts to mention about like after slavery and the schools and things like that, right? And then he said when the slaves were in these schools, they weren't taught that. Again, in 1867, black people were not slaves; they were free people. So again, these are just examples of this man taking your brains and making you believe and making you feel like you were once a slave, but you're fucking free right now. These are the thought leaders that y'all worship out here in the world. Now, this is an interesting message that he said. And I really analyzed it, and I really looked into it, and I really played it back and forth and everything like that before I was able to speak on it, right? And this just truly contradicts what a lot of black people, you know what I'm saying, have told me for years and years and years. Even now, black people telling me shit. So I'm looking at it like this. So this man is still holding white people accountable for what they didn't teach his ancestors, or what they didn't teach them people back in the day, or him right now. He is saying that white people didn't teach them about finance. They didn't teach them about how to pick a spouse to marry and how to raise their own children. And I'm looking at this shit like, really, man? Really? So all those white children, black women helped raise on those plantations, right? All those white children that they had up on their nipple, taking their milk out their breast that was supposed to be for their own children. All that experience, all that, right? Everything, right? That wasn't enough education. You know what I'm saying? So when black people were free, right? So when they finally was free, you mean to tell me that they instantly forgot all that shit that they learned back on the plantations about raising children, raising their own children, and picking their own spouse. They knew what spouses they didn't want. They knew what people that they didn't want, right? So they knew this. But he tried to tell us that nobody knew that shit. Now, let's keep going. And he's saying that the reason why black people are in the state that they are now is because of what the white power structure or racist white people did to their ancestors with withholding that type of information. Hundreds of years ago, right? So we look at 1865 and we look at to right now 2025, right? And we look right now to 1865 to 2025, right? So we're gonna look at the calendar, not the calendar. We're gonna look at the calculator, and we're gonna get a definite amount of years, right, from that point. So we're looking at. Let me see. Hold on a second. I'm gonna get to y'all. So we're saying like all them years. I'm not even gonna worry about the calculator, right? I'm not gonna worry about the calculator. So I'm gonna say 160 years, right? About 160 years ago, right? So he's worrying about that shit. So when I'm telling what I'm saying to you, I'm like, look, black people. This is for the smart black people. This is for the revolutionary black people. This information is for, you know what I'm saying, the ancestral line of black people who ran off that motherfucking plantation. This is for the people who come from the bloodline of the true black revolutionaries that was willing to fight and die to stop the oppression, that was willing to kill a Ku Klux Klan member, that was willing to do anything possible to be able to save their family, even if it included murder, or even if it included them dying for the freedom of other black people in the future. This is for them. And this is for y'all over there who want to be fucking dependent on the white man and all that type of stuff, and the slave-minded people too. This is really for all y'all. Let's look at education. After the Civil War, white religious organizations and individuals, they used their wealth and their influence to build actual schools for black people in the South. They built actual institutions of learning for just only black people, right? Only black people. And more than 80% of the HBCU right now in America were founded by white individuals and white religious organizations, right? And this man is complaining about courses when actual institutions were built only for your ancestors. But nobody don't want to give that, nobody don't want to look at that. Nobody want to look at back after 1865, how many black people was in the House of Representatives and how many only black schools there was, right? So when I look at these black thought leaders and religious black males, they constantly make black people look so dependent on white leadership and guidance. And it's so sad that this man from the Nation of Islam dude is out here on a campaign to make black people feel like they were slaves when they were never slaves. And then they say right now, like, oh, you're still a slave because you worked this job. And apparently they don't even know what a fucking slave really was. Ain't nobody waking you up with no whips and shit telling you to go fucking pick nothing that you really don't want to pick. People are making a conscious choice and a conscious decisions to be able to get up every day and do what the fuck they want to do with their own lives. These dudes, these thought leaders are constantly spreading propaganda about the boogeyman white man. The white boogeyman out here that's controlling black minds and all this type of shit and making black people kill each other. And you notice in that video, when he started talking about black on black crime, they stopped the motherfucking video. Because you don't want to go deeper than that. That's what it is. I'm going to listen to it again. I'm going to listen to it again. I'm going to listen to it again. Right? I'm going to keep listening to it because it's just going to give me the fuel. It's going to give me, you know what I'm saying, the ambition, more ambition than I already have to be able to address, you know what I mean, these thought leaders that's out here in America right now. When you listen to them talk, and now listen, a lot of people think that, you know what I'm saying, I'm against black males and I'm against black people because I speak like this, right? I'm just tired of the victimization. How is we ever going to get anywhere as any culture, as any people, as your family members and all that, if you are constantly looking at yourself as being a victim, right? How are you going to get anywhere? How are you going to ever accomplish anything and stuff if you keep on blaming another person for what's going on right now? There is no way. See, when I go back to slavery, when I think about slavery, right? I acknowledge that it exists, right? But I also acknowledge that slavery exists amongst all cultures, right? So I can't just isolate black people because I got this skin color and just focus on that. I'm looking at all this shit, right? The whole system of slavery for all cultures and shit like that, right? And I understand it. But I was never a slave. You will never hear me say when we were slaves. A lot of y'all out there talk like that. Because who taught you that, though? Who told you that? Somebody in your family, somebody black, made you believe in your brain, right? Programmed you in your brain to make you feel like you a slave right now, which is a disservice to your motherfucking ancestors, man. Your ancestors died for you to be free. Your ancestors died in that Civil War. Your ancestors were beaten, hung, all that type of stuff for you to enjoy the freedoms right motherfucking now, man. That's what you should be worrying about. The freedoms right motherfucking now. Look at your constitutional rights. There is no way you're going to try to convince me to believe that I'm still a slave dude when I have constitutional rights in America right now. When I can wake up every day and there ain't no white dude telling me to go out there and pick no berries or none of that shit. Ain't beating me, hitting me with no whips, making me physically forcing me to do shit. You can't make me believe that. And I'm not mentally enslaved either. Because if I was mentally enslaved, I would not be talking like this. Right? I'm telling black people to free your motherfucking brains, man. You are not a slave. You don't even know a motherfucking slave. None of y'all know a slave. Everybody that was in slavery is dead. Everybody that contributed to slavery is dead. Now, the problem is that we have people in our family that pass on down certain traditions to the youngins and make us start believing shit. I'm not allowing that to happen to my brain. And when I start coming up with actual solutions to these problems and everything, then y'all people out there, not all y'all people, right? You know what I mean? But a lot of black males look at me like I'm some type of tearing down the black male and shit. No, motherfucker need to tear down that old black male and build a new motherfucking black male. A more indestructible one. More invisible one. You know what I'm saying? Because all I hear is whining ass black males, dude, whining about the white boogeyman. Whining about the goddamn white power structure. As if you don't know how to get out that shit. And then they try to tell me that they're able to lead a family. How the fuck you gonna be able to lead a black family and shit like that when you scared of the white boogeyman, dude? You know what I'm saying? When you can't even really go out there and clean up your communities and shit like that, and you want to lead a black woman and those children to where? Where are you leading them to? What are you going to do? You're going to lead them right into the chaos that you're talking about. You're going to lead them right into the community where there's so many murders and so many deaths and so much gang violence and so much. You're leading them right back into that, dude. You're not getting them out of that. So that's why I don't believe in these thought leaders, man. Because when you listen to them talk, I mean, listen, if you really, really pay attention to Umar, to 19 Keys, to the Nuri Muhammad dude, when you really, really listen to them talk, man, they are spreading black victimization propaganda, man. They want you to look at the white man like he is the source of your motherfucking problems. And the source of your motherfucking problems is really this. Your inability to change your motherfucking brain, man. Your inability to change. Like, unlock those chains of slavery in your brain. Stop trying to go back into some type of mental time machine and attach yourself to those people suffering and that chaos in that world because you did not experience it at all. When you wake up every morning, you should be thankful that they went through all that so you could be free, man. And you need to take that freedom and look inside of America and get the fucking shit that you need to go ahead and get, man. For yourself. Stop worrying about all these other people telling you need this, you need that. Look at your own God-given purpose. Look at the things that you want to do with your own motherfucking life, and then go out there and look at your weapons. Love your weapons. These are solutions. Let me show you something real quick. These are solutions, right? Look at this. Look at this. Laws of conduct and behavior, right? These are solutions. This is code of ethics. loyalty, love your weapons, professionalism, punctuality, honesty, aggressive ambition, remain optimistic, understanding unity, money empowerment, seize the opportunities, motivate the movement, exercise mind, body, and spirit, determine our own destiny. We don't fucking worry about no goddamn white man and what the fuck he gotta say, right? We create a counter system in order to stop shit from happening to us. And always pray and praise God. You see that? These are solutions, man. And when you utilize solutions like that, when you change your code of conduct and your behavior in America and stuff like that, you'll be able to achieve your God-given purpose. You got to get out of the black community in order to save people within the community that's stuck there. Excuse me. That's what needs to happen. So these thought leaders like this, all of them, you can't get me to fucking believe nothing they say. Because if you are an effective thought leader, right, you have to be effective. You just can't be calling yourself shit, right? You have to have actual solutions, right? So if you are a thought leader, a black thought leader in America right now, your thoughts, what's in your brain, should be able to lead you to solutions, right, that will help fix the problems of your people. You shouldn't, like, spreading awareness. People be talking about, oh, spreading awareness. We all know what the fuck is going on, man. We don't need 100 motherfuckers to be telling us what the fuck is going on every goddamn day. We know what's going on. Now we're looking at the solutions. What do we need to do to stop this shit from happening? And they don't have the solutions to that. But over Revolut, we do. Later.